Hi friends, welcome to our channel. So our topic is ingredients of machine learning. In ingredients of machine learning, we have mainly three parts. One is task, second one is model, and third one is feature. In the previous section, we had completed the concept of task. Now we will move to model. Here, what is a model? This model is the central concept in machine learning. This model forms the main concept is machine learning, as they have what is being learned from the data. Being learned from the data in order to solve a task. What is the meaning of this one? We train the data with some examples. So this is the what is being learned from the data, that is what the model learns to solve a particular task. This is the model. Generally, these models are classified into three types. One is geometric model, second one is probabilistic model, and the third one is logical model. These are the three categories of models. Actually, these are the not only three types of models. We have many classifications, but most of the models comes under these three categories: geometric model, probabilistic model, and logical model. First, we will discuss the geometric model. So the first one is geometric model. What do you mean by geometric model? The set of all possible instances. Here instance means an example. Suppose an email. Email is one instance. So the set of all possible instances that are present in the database or that are not present in the database. Here presence is not important. Whether it present in the database or not present in the database. All possible instances. Remember the point? All possible instances is called instance space. All possible instances is called instance space. Generally, these geometric models are constructed directly in the instance space. So, without any other activities, simply the geometric models are constructed directly in the instance space. How? By using lines, by using planes, or by using distance. By using any of these, we are directly constructed the geometric models in the instance space. So what is the main advantage? The main advantage by using this construction is easy to visualize. Easy to visualize if it contains two or more dimensions. If the class contains two or more dimensions, that is two or more dimension means two or more instances, that means two or more coordinates. If it contains either 2D or 3D, construction of this geometric model is very easy because it is easy to visualize. But generally it contains the number of features are very large. The number of features are large means there are many number of coordinates. Suppose if you have a linear decision boundary, if there exists a linear decision boundary, the name is specified. Decision means we have take some decision, boundary on some particular position linearly. If there exists a linear decision boundary between two classes, then those two classes are linearly separable. When we say that two classes are separable, how we can say that two classes are different? Suppose spam is one class, ham is one class. How we are saying that? If there exists a linear decision boundary between the two classes, then only the two classes are linearly separable. So this is called a linear classifier. Linear classifier means simply linearly divide into two classes. The equation is, for linear decision boundary, the general equation is W into x is equal to t. So here our concept is geometric model. Here geometric model means generally we are using either lines, planes or distances for constructing. So first here linear decision boundary means based on lines or based on points, based on distance. Assume based on lines. So general equation of linear decision boundary is W into x is equal to t, where W is a vector. W is a vector perpendicular to the decision boundary. W is a vector perpendicular to the decision boundary. X is any arbitrary point on the decision boundary. X is any arbitrary point on the decision boundary. T is decision threshold. T is decision threshold. This is the formula for calculating linear decision boundary. Linear decision boundary. This is one type of model. One type of model is linear decision boundary. W is a vector perpendicular to the decision boundary. X is any arbitrary point on the decision boundary. T is the decision threshold. Now consider an example. Suppose we have some set of positives and some set of negatives. We have some set of positive elements and some set of negative elements. Here in this example, suppose the P is the positive, N is the negative. P represents the positive, N is the negative. We have a linear decision boundary. This one is the linear decision boundary. That is, it linearly separates positive and negatives. It separates the positive into one class, negative into another class. So X is any arbitrary point on the decision boundary. W is a vector perpendicular to the decision boundary. For example, assume this one as W. Here we are writing a line from negative to positives. We are drawing a line perpendicular from negative examples to positive examples. Here the main point is how to identify the value of W. How to identify the value of W. Remember the point in drawing that one. Calculate. W is a vector. W is simply a vector pointing from the center of mass. Pointing from the center of mass of negative to the center of mass of positives. Center of mass means simply average. So this is the linear decision boundary. W is a vector perpendicular to the decision boundary. How we are writing W means the center of mass. Suppose this is the negative set, this is the positive set. The center means average. For example, assume this is the average. The center of mass of negative examples to center of mass of positive examples is divided as W. So simply W is equal to P minus N. How we are calculating? Suppose this is a point into P, this is point into N. So from coordinate to center of mass P, from this coordinate to center of mass. Suppose this is the center of mass. From this coordinate to center of mass for P, for this coordinate to center of mass P. Obviously for W, the center of mass is average. That means P plus N by 2. P plus N by 2 is any arbitrary point on that one. So finally our equation W into X is equal to 2 is, what is the value of W? W is equal to P minus N. X is equal to, the arbitrary point means compulsory the average of positives and negatives. P plus N by 2 into T. The general equation is represented as P square minus N square is equal to T. In mathematical notation, this is represented as P square minus N square is equal to 3. Here The symbol represents the length of P. That is the number of positive elements, the number of negative elements. Number of positive elements and number of negative elements. This is the linear decision boundary. Here we have some assumptions. What are the assumptions? Always the vector is perpendicular to the decision boundary. We are finding the value of W from center of mass of negative to center of mass of positives. We have many assumptions. This is the threshold limit. So T. So this is the decision threshold. We already fixed some values. Assume if our assumptions are doesn't hold. If the assumptions are does not hold, this linear classifier, linear decision boundary or linear classifier, this linear classifier is the performance as poor, is poor performance. That means if our assumptions are wrong, if our assumptions are doesn't hold, the performance is reduces because generally the data is very nice. Generally the data is very nice. So in that cases, very nice. Consider an example how the data is very nice. So up to this one we discussed one model. The model is linear decision. Now in the geometric model, consider a vocabulary. Consider a vocabulary of 10,000 words. Consider a vocabulary of 10,000 words. We have a Boolean feature, that is whether the word present in the document or not. We have designed a model such that whether the word present in the model or not, present in the document or not. So by constructing the model, we observe that most of the instance space is empty. Why? Because we have total 10,000 words. Suppose a document contains either 5 words. Suppose a document contains some 1000 words. What about 9,000? So this is the total number of words we have available. We are picking a word from the document and check whether that particular word available in the document or not. That means 10,000 word means we have 10,000 dimensions. 10,000 word means for each word we have a dimension. That means 10,000 coordinates. By constructing the graph by using this one, most of the instance space is empty. That is only some small portion of the instance space is non-zero. Only small portion value is non-zero because almost completely all is empty. In those cases, you observe the point, most of the space is empty. In those cases, it is not possible to linearly separate the classes, because if the space is empty between the instance space, if large amount of space is empty, it is not possible to divide by using linear classifier. By using linear classifier, in those cases, we are using large marginal classifiers. Large marginal classifiers. So you got the point. Why linear classifier fails means we have a lot of space between the instances, lot of empty space between the instances. It is not possible to divide by using linear classifier. In those cases, we move into large marginal classifier. How this classifier works? How this classifier works? It divides the instance space into separate classes. It divides the instance space into separate classes based on the decision boundary, and the particular instance. So always check with the decision boundary. Based on the decision boundary and the particular instance. Here what is the marginal? Marginal means simply the distance from the decision boundary to the particular instance. The margin means the distance from the decision boundary to the particular instance is called margin. If you have a large margin, it is easy to classify. One example of this large marginal classifier is, very important example is support vector mission. Suppose vector mission SVM. This is the one example of large marginal classifier. We will discuss SVM in the later sessions, a complete algorithm. Here in this session we will do brief introduction to each and every algorithm that are present. Brief introduction to each and every algorithm present. In the later sessions we will discuss each and every algorithm with implementation of real world problem. So this is SVM. Now one more type of model based on distance is one more type of model based on distance. So in the previous two cases I am using lines to separate the classifiers. I am using lines to separate the classifiers. One more thing is nearest to neighbor classifier. Nearest to neighbor classifier. Nearest to neighbor classifier means I designed a model. I have some training examples. I have a set of training examples. Suppose I have an instance. What is my aim? You already know what is the aim of model. Whenever I given an input, what is the class for that particular input? If you use a classification, if you are using classification, whenever I am giving an input, for which class that particular input belongs to? For which class that particular input belongs to? Suppose whenever I am giving an instance, that is, we have to calculate the class of this particular instance. What is our aim? Our aim is to calculate the class to which it belongs to. For that purpose, what I am doing? So from the given set of examples, from the given set of training examples, I retrieve a similar instance. A similar instance. That means similar instance means the instance that is similar to our particular instance. For which instance we want to calculate? For instance, we have some similar instance in the training examples. So I have retrieved that particular similar instance. If this instance belongs to class A, suppose if this instance belongs to class A, simply our instance also belongs to class A. That means the class of that similar instance is assigned to the class for our particular instance. This is the nearest neighbor classifier. In this, what do you mean by similar? How to identify similar? So here nearest to neighbor means it is based on distance, especially it uses in Euclidean distance. So we have different types of distances: Euclidean distance, Manhattan distance. In this case, suppose if we are using Euclidean distance means square root of sum of distances between the 2 points. Square root of sum of distances between the 2 points. So we have to calculate Euclidean distance between our instance, to all the instances in the training examples. Euclidean distance between our instance to all the examples in the training exam set. So training set contains all the instances with their corresponding classes. For which instance we have a smaller Euclidean distance, then that instance and our instance are similar. That is, the small Euclidean distance between our instance to some other instance are called similar. This is the nearest neighbor classifier. One more variant of nearest neighbor classifier is K nearest neighbor. Here what is K? K specifies in the previous case I am retrieving only one similar instance. That is similar to our required instance. But in K nearest neighbor classifier, we are retrieving K similar instances. Similar to our particular instance. And which class is to be assigned? So which class? For all the instances, we are taking some voting. That is, the majority class is assigned to our instance. For example, if K value is equal to some 3. If our instance, we are picking 3 instances. For our instance, the similar instances, we are picking only 3 similar instances. Suppose the first instance belongs to class A, second instance belongs to class B, third instance belongs to class A. So what is our class? The majority is class A. So our instance belongs to class A. This is k nearest neighbor. This is the k nearest neighbor. These are the geometric model for classification. So what we will discuss? Linear decision boundary and large marginal classifier introduction and nearest neighbor, and one variant of nearest neighbor is k nearest neighbor. In all these cases, we have classes. Whenever I am giving input, to which class it belongs to, we already know. One more thing is, unsupervised learning also is present. So all these classifications belongs to supervised learning. Unsupervised classification learning, for example, the algorithm we are using k-means, and it is clustering. Clustering means groups of similar data. That is, we are divide the data into different groups. The item present in one group have similar properties compared to other groups. That is, the intra-similarity is high and inter-similarity between the groups is low. So now we implement k-means. Here k-means means initial guess. The very important point is, initially we have to guess the value of k. Why? Because in unsupervised learning, we have no information regarding the classes. Suppose if we have used email, we have 2 classes. That is, the email either belongs to spam or the email either belongs to ham. That is only 2 classes. But in clustering, we don't know how many number of classes. That is, we don't know how many number of groups we have. For that purpose, I have an initial guess of k. So based on this, initially I am dividing the data set. Whenever I have given a data set, I have divide the data set into k clusters. The first step is, I am dividing the data set into k cluster. Here cluster means a group. Suppose k is equal to 3, means my entire data set is divided into 3 parts. Step by step, pick an instance from the group and check the similarity measure based on either Euclidean distance, based on either Manhattan distance, whatever it is. Calculate the average mean. Of the group. Suppose this is the mean of the first group, this is the mean of second group, this is the mean of third group. Now I am picking an instance from the group. Calculate the average distance from this point to this distance. Compulsory the distances must be low. That means pick an element and the average distance between that element to distance to the center must be less. So reassign the points. If it is not satisfied, reassign that element to another group. Step by step perform reinitialization of the points and again calculate the average. Calculate average of the groups. And simple point is, the average similarity of one group and average similarity of other groups are different. So average similarity of one group, all the elements that are present in the group have almost same similarity to average similarity. This is one technique. So in initial case, we are assuming k clusters. So another alternate technique is, in the initial case, instead of k groups, I am using k means. I am assuming k means. K means means k points are assigned as centers of the clusters. I already fixed. Suppose 3 points forms the centers of the cluster. For example, these are the 3 points without any groups. See this one. We have a different data set. Among the data set, I am fixed this, and this. These are the 3 points center to the centroids of the cluster. Pick one point and calculate the similarity. To which group it belongs to. Suppose if it belongs to this group, add to this group, add to this group, add to this group. The same procedure is repeated until the mean of the cluster doesn't change. That means the centroid of the cluster does not change. So this is the very simple algorithm. Compared to all classification algorithms, this clustering algorithm is very simple. So these are the geometric models. Next we will discuss probabilistic model.